Alright, this is an introductory video to my YouTube channel called The Maritime Man. Named so because I live in the maritime regions of Canada, right next to the Atlantic Ocean, which you see right here at low tide. In terms of hobbies, I like computers, and I like cars, and I like lawn tractors.
On July 31st, 2008, a 14-year-old boy from a tiny island on the Bay of Fundy decided to make a YouTube channel. That boy was shy, nerdy, perhaps even cringy, and he was also me! Hi! 15 years ago, today, I started this YouTube channel, back then called The Maritime Man, and one day later, I uploaded my first video. From my earliest years, I loved video, and I was obsessed with the idea of being able to create video of my own. I guess that obsession never went away because today I make television programming for a living, and it's literally a dream come true. But back then, I had no means. I wanted a camcorder so bad, but I was a kid, and camcorders were expensive things for grown-ups. But in 2005, for Christmas, my dad bought me my first camcorder. I was 11 years old. It was a JVC mini DV camcorder. And that was something kind of cool about my dad. We didn't have the best relationship, but Dad was never afraid to buy me grown-up things as gifts. I guess he saw that I got lasting value out of them that I didn't get out of toys or other things for kids usually. Now, that camcorder is not what I used to make my first YouTube videos because I didn't have the means or the knowledge to get the video from the camcorder onto the computer, but it kickstarted a so far lifelong love of creating video. I used that camcorder from 2005 to 2008 to record dozens of hours of home movies, road trips, family, just general nonsense. So that was one factor. Another factor at this time was that while I adored my hobbies and interests, which at that time was mostly computers, I had nobody to share it with. In the 2000s and even into the 2010s, it was very uncool to be into something like computers. I got teased for it, I was bullied for it, among other things, and people thought I was weird. And even my friends who loved me, they just had no interest in anything I had to say to that matter. I had one friend in school who was a computer geek like me, but he was into the high-end, new, modern, cutting-edge stuff and not the old stuff like me. Fast forward to 2008 and a bunch of things happened. First of all, my dad bought a new computer, the only new computer he ever bought himself, the second computer he ever owned and the last, the venerable Dell Inspiron 1525. Second, he bought high-speed internet service to go with that new computer, which marked the first time that I had regular access to high-speed internet, because Mom and I, we just had dial-up at home at this time. That high-speed internet, by the way, was a whopping 1.5 megabits per second. Thirdly and finally, I had recently gotten my first digital camera. It was a Samsung Digimax A403. And this camera was special because it could record video, and it recorded it onto an SD card, which just so happened to be able to go into the card reader on this new laptop that my dad got. I more or less started watching YouTube at this time as well, because it was the first time I had access to a computer good enough and to internet service good enough to watch YouTube. And I realized that I had all the pieces I needed to make my own videos and put them on YouTube, to create my own outlet to share the things I loved to an audience that might possibly care. And the rest was history. So why am I being so darn self-congratulatory by making this video? I have peers on this website, peers that I'm lucky enough to be friends with, who have been on this website way longer and have accomplished way more than I have and possibly ever will. But they don't make videos like this. I guess I just never expected it to last this long or go this far. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, the biggest subscriber milestone in the channel's history, and I am just over the moon to have that many subscribers. It's so darn cool. I thought it was amazing when I got my first 1,000 years and years ago. Now we're at 10,000. To have that many people who care about the crap that I make, that's pretty darn cool. I've also been doing YouTube for more than half my life, and either by necessity or otherwise, I've documented a lot of my personal life on here. The few of you who have been watching me for most or all of the last 15 years, you've literally watched me grow up. I was fresh out of middle school when I created this YouTube channel, and you saw me go through high school, through university, get my first real job, quit that job because I was treated like crap, learn to drive, get engaged, and a lot of bad moments in between too. I'm almost 30 now, and so this channel, for better or worse, is not simply a catalog of old electronics and computers and fixing things and stuff like that. It's a record of my journey through adolescence and into adulthood. A very unique journey, and how I survived. And finally, I just think it would be cool to see a montage of the history of this channel. 15 years, over 1,000 videos, the first 200 of which haven't been publicly available since 2010. So let's begin with where it all started when I was just 14 years old.
This is my compact Presario 5365 computer. This is a Numar power inverter. Plugs into a standard 120 volt house outlet, and 12 volts comes out these wires here. My dad is moving. He is moving out of this house. There will be no more videos in this familiar field which I've been in many of my videos that you've seen. My dad has moved into his apartment now, and he gave me his old stereo. This is a custom built computer with an AMD Sempron 2500 plus processor at 1.75 gigahertz, 512 megabytes of RAM, and an ATI Rage 128 Pro video card. And this is also the computer I use to make my YouTube videos. This is what's left of my dad's old house. He's moved into his apartment now. This was my bedroom when I lived here from 1994 to 2000. I'm going to miss this house. This house is most likely going to be torn down.
My dad started getting sick when I was 6 or 7 years old. He was in his early 50s. He was diabetic, and he didn't manage it well. He had heart disease. Actually, I heard that a portion of his heart was actually dead. It was just scar tissue and not functional. He also drank a lot, too much, and it sucks because what I didn't realize about him until after he died was that he was a tinkerer like me, but I never witnessed him tinker because by the time I came around, he was declining and he stopped partaking in his hobbies. He just worked until he couldn't anymore, and after that he just sat and watched TV, and then he died. One of my earliest memories is from when I was maybe 3. We took apart a Northern Telecom 2500 telephone. It was the first time that I ever saw the inside of an electrical or electronic device. And while we ended up destroying a perfectly good Model 2500 telephone set, I credit that activity with jump-starting a lifelong love of electronics and tinkering and fixing things and seeing how things work, even if I don't know the science behind how they work half the time. Although unfortunately my captivation in weird things like lighting and fans and stuff like that, that was a source of discontent to him towards me, which sucked. But it's simply amazing today to look back on that video I made of his house after he moved out, because I'm simply shocked. What you just saw was not simply the result of him moving out. It was like that for years. He lived in those conditions, and I was in those conditions whenever I visited him or stayed the weekend with him or whatever. And it's crazy now that I allowed myself and that everyone allowed me to make that video and put it on the internet. But it didn't shock me back then, because that was just the way it always was at my dad's house. That was just normal. I never knew when I dialed his phone number if he was going to pick up or if I had already heard his voice for the last time. It was just a day-by-day thing, and that was the norm for me in the late 2000s.
I am extremely happy to say that the screen on my Acer Extensa 500 laptop actually works. All this thing needed for the screen to work perfectly was a CMOS battery. This is a PCI Firewire card. Thanks to this card, this will be the very last video I ever make using this camera. From now on, I'll be using a real video camera. I'm about to do an incredibly evil thing to my compact Presario. I am going to attempt to install Windows Vista Ultimate on this computer. My Canadian viewers are going to hate me for wearing this shirt. Getting close to my 100th video. I plan on making a 100th video special, and I want to make it real special since I never made a 50th video special. This is the Maritime Man's 100th video special celebrating my progress on YouTube. I'm going to start off this video with a couple of announcements. The first announcement is, after 5 or 6 months, I finally got a haircut. So what do I think about being the proud owner of 100 videos on YouTube? What have I wasted my life doing? Nah, I'm kidding about that one. This is a Sony Walkman, model WM-FX177. It not only is a cassette player, but it has an AM/FM tuner. It turns out that my compact Presario 5365 is actually a 5360. My Acer Extensa 501DX is now a luggable computer. There's where the plastic cracked off, and the other side there.
And you aim through, here, and line it up with
Oh,
this,
nice, okay.
And then you can see it through.
Can I hit it?
Fred loves big fluffy donkey games.
There we go. What's your name, Sailor? A very sad event has happened here on the Maritime Man's channel. This computer has in fact died.
As you know, I haven't posted any videos for the past little while. I am getting hours of homework almost every day from school. My review of the Garmin eTrex Venture HC GPS unit is my most popular video ever. Each part has almost 15,000 views. I'm going to turn on all 9 of my cell phones, or at least turn on the 7 of them that work. I looked at my channel, and lo and behold, I have 300 subscribers. Thanks guys, I gotta love it. 300 subscribers, you know, never thought I'd make it this far. What you see here is a bunch of stuff that my math teacher gave to me for free. This is a realistic NTA-8 AM/FM radio. Something very unexpected and very unfortunate happened to me and my family over the holidays. On the morning of December 27th, 2009, 2 days after Christmas, my father was found dead in his apartment building. A friend had called that morning and there was no answer to the phone. Well, my dad's friend knew that my dad was home, so he called his neighbors, and Dad's neighbors went over to see what was up. They went into my dad's apartment, which he always kept unlocked so friends could enter, and they found him on the floor of the bathroom. He had a major heart attack that killed him pretty quickly. This is a Sony Watchman model FD30 portable handheld television. This is an extremely old computer on the second floor computer lab of my school that I've wanted to show off for a while. It's an IBM PS Value Point model 425 SXSI. It's the Maritime Man's 500th subscriber special, celebrating what I think is one of the biggest milestones I've hit yet. 500 people subscribe to my videos. Well, I'm out here with the Dell Inspiron 1525. I'm just on my YouTube channel here because I wanted to show something interesting. What the? Oh shit! 199 videos. Holy crap, I'm gonna make my 200 video special. And thus ends the original era of this YouTube channel. Now what do I mean by that? Well, in May of 2010, I fell for a bad actor, and this channel was actually lost. Someone, a stranger, messaged me on YouTube, back when YouTube had its own private messaging function, and they said, hey, I really love your videos, and I made a tribute video for you. And there was a URL, a very strange URL. Now, I think even if you don't remember this saga, you can probably guess what happened. Now, if I remember right, I was suspicious of that link, but never one to resist someone's adoration. I blindly and naively clicked the link. I think I thought if something was bad that my antivirus would catch it. It did not. I don't remember anymore if it was minutes or hours after I clicked that link, but suddenly I found myself logged out of the account. And when I tried to log in again, it said my account was suspended. The Maritime Man was gone. Now, I don't know what the hacker did to cause the channel to be suspended. My best guess has been that it was some sort of automatic safety mechanism that kicked in if a channel was suddenly accessed from a different part of the world, but I don't know. Now, mere months beforehand, I created my second channel, CPQ5360, solely for the purpose of providing myself a refuge if anything ever happened to the Maritime Man. This was an era in YouTube's history when channels were just getting hacked left and right, and if they weren't getting hacked, they were getting impersonated. People would just pretend to be another YouTuber for no reason, and that happened to me too. I got impersonated twice over the history of this channel. It was a wild time in YouTube's history. I have no idea why it was such a common thing or why people did it. I don't know, but that was the way YouTube was back in the wild, wild west days of YouTube. When the Maritime Man got hacked, I began using CPQ 5360, and I used it to provide updates on to whatever viewers had managed to find the channel after the Maritime Man was hacked. And I made videos regarding my attempts to restore the Maritime Man. I submitted YouTube account hijacking forms, I sent emails, I even once made a phone call to Google's switchboard, which didn't go anywhere. A lot of those videos are gone now from CPQ 5360. I took them down, and whatever ones are still there are just me talking about what I was doing in school at the time. So there's really nothing interesting to show. Now, about a month later, YouTube pulled through, and I got the channel back, and you're watching it right now. Great! But all the videos were gone. You try to go to any video and it would just say, this video has been removed for violating terms of service, which is obviously untrue. And that's why if you go all the way back in my channel history, all the videos you've seen up to this point in the montage, they're just not there. The most aggravating thing is, those videos, my first 200 videos, they still exist on YouTube servers. I can go into my YouTube studio right now, see all the information for those videos, and I can watch them. But you can't, because they're all marked as having violated terms of service. Once in a great while, I attempt to contact YouTube on Twitter to help with this, and they ignore me. I'm not important enough. A peer of mine, whose channel is an order of magnitude larger than mine, he once tried to contact YouTube for me, which I greatly appreciate, and they ignored him too. It's probably so simple to restore those first 200 videos. Could be as easy as a checkbox, but they won't do it, and they won't even acknowledge me either way. So it is what it is. To me now, it's not a huge loss. Those first 200 videos are just, I was a child. They are very poor quality, visually, content-wise, everything, compared to what I make now. And that's saying something when you look at what I make now. Anyway, the saddest part of it all is, I got the channel back in June of 2010, but I didn't start making videos again until September of 2011. After I got the channel back, I waited for the existing videos to be restored. I attempted to contact YouTube. I held off making videos because I didn't want to do anything until absolutely everything was back to normal. But it never happened. And I think I was still in the middle of my 200th video special. I think that special was going to have 3 parts, because back then there was the 10-minute video limit. And I uploaded parts 1 and 2 rather, and then the channel was hacked. So I didn't want to pick up where I left off when the context provided by the previous videos was missing. And also, I think at the time I felt like, what was the point of making videos if it could all be ripped away so instantly and nobody cared enough to help you if that happened? I was just so defeated. And so there was this 16-month time span where I just didn't make YouTube videos. I was still doing all my hobby stuff, still doing everything I loved, but I lost the will to make videos. And so I was back to where I was earlier in my childhood, just doing my thing and nobody to share it with. I think what inspired me to begin making videos again was that in the months leading up to it, I had been given some vintage computers. I went from having one vintage computer, the venerable compact Presario 5360, to having 3 vintage computers, including the computer I adore and care most out of all my vintage computers, the Epson Apex Plus. That was the first XT class computer I ever owned since the Tandy 1000EX my parents had when I was very little. And that computer opened a whole new world of vintage computing for me, and I credit it, at least in part, for inspiring me to make YouTube videos again. So, we move on to Chapter 2 of my YouTube story, beginning in September of 2011.
Okay, I thought it was time to dig out my camera and all its tapes. I thought it was time to do a whole great big update video. There's no better computer to start off with than this, the computer you all know and love, my baby, the Compaq Presario 5360 from 1999. This computer, it's not used as a desktop system anymore. This thing's a server now. This is an Epson Apex Plus. This computer was made in 1988. My math teacher gave me this computer. Welcome to the first high definition video I'll have ever uploaded to YouTube. This video is being made by my Canon PowerShot SX130 digital camera, which I got for Christmas. Isn't this beautiful? This camera takes awesome video. Arguably better than my camcorder, but I'll still use my camcorder because, you know, standard definition videos a lot easier to edit. This is a perfect mint in box with everything it came with new. iMac G3 graphite. This is without a doubt the most unique, most beautiful, most coolest computer I've ever obtained. Well, it's sad, but it's true. Today is my last day with the Acer Aspire 3050. My friend David, he's buying it off me tomorrow. It has a brand new, clean installation of Windows XP Media Center Edition on it from the original Acer Restore discs that were made by the original owner of the laptop, my friend Sean, who hates Pentiums but loves giving me cell phones. His sister, actually, I think. This is Pac-Man 2. This is a handheld electronic game made by Entex in 1981. I've ever done in my entire life. Absolutely amazing. This is an MCA Computers custom built Turbo 486 computer. I want to put Windows 3.1 on this, assuming it'll work perfect and will be compatible with all the hardware, because I want to turn this thing into the best darn DOS and Windows 3.1 machine ever. This is the Maritime Man Pit of Destruction, where today our victim is the Dell Inspiron 5150. Oh, we see some breakage on the front. Both excitingly and sadly, I am finished my high school career. My days as a high school student are over. In August, late August or early September, I go off to university. Oh no, I know, Fraggle Rock. Fragile Rock. Fraggle Rock.
Sing with me, Trent.
I don't know the words.
Me neither. Spent years away, worries for another day.
The Maritime Man. What the heck is that? Oh yeah, I think this is that thing I used to post videos on. Nah, I'm kidding. It's true. I'm in university now, and that's why you haven't seen a real video from me in a long time. I think a couple of you know the institution of which I'm attending is called the University of New Brunswick, where I'm taking electrical engineering. Living on my own, I'm pretty much self-contained. I'm taking care of myself pretty well. I'm keeping myself clean, keeping myself fed, and I'm getting some sleep once in a while, so that's pretty good. I'm here in the basement of the physics building where I've discovered something really cool. Alright, this is what we have here.
we have a Zenith PC. Over here we have a Commodore PET. We have a Macintosh Plus. Two of them actually. What in God's name is with all the fluorescent light videos? Pretty much all my entire life I have had an interest in electric lighting. I never knew why, I still don't know why, I just did. The thing is, all my life I have hidden my love of fluorescent lamps and lanterns and flashlights in general from everybody. The first fluorescent lamp videos that you guys have seen, that is the very first time in my entire life that I demonstrated my interest in this stuff to anybody, ever. And really now, I'm glad that I have an interest in this stuff, because life is extremely interesting when those hundreds of things on the ceiling are what interest you. This is a Goldberg Safari light. This is the very first battery-powered fluorescent lantern ever. 2 batteries go in here. Each battery was 69 volts. This is an NEC Mobile Pro 900C. This is a so-called handheld PC, and it was made in 2004. If you go on the Maritime Man right now, you will find that I have no videos. The geniuses at Google thought it'd be lovely a couple of months ago to automatically and without my consent give me a Google Plus account and to automatically integrate my email and YouTube and everything right into it. I acquired a bunch of old hard drives from school that weren't wanted by anyone anymore. What you're looking at right now is one of those drives, and now I will zoom out and reveal the rest of them. This is a Pioneer Model SX303 stereo receiver, and it was made in the mid-1980s. I saw this thing and grabbed it. I got it for the princely sum of $7. This is a Casio CFX 9850 GB+. This has a color LCD display, and it's very unique in how it works. It can only display 3 colors, red, green, and blue. I scored another computer monitor. It's a Sony Trinitron. It's a Sony Trinitron Multiscan 210GS. This is going to be the first time in my entire life that I live completely on my own. I'm 19 years old now. I'm some blue-balled when it comes to this whole living on my own thing, but that's alright. I mean, I want to get stuff done and do this, and so that's what's important. I struggled hard with growing up, and it took me a lot of years to realize that I did. Growing up, all through my childhood, people used to compliment me and compliment my parents about how mature I was and how smart I was and how much of a hard worker I was. And I think today, what I really had was a healthy fear of authority and an unhealthy fear with disappointing people and an unhealthy obsession with pleasing people. And I think that's something I still struggle with a little bit to that extent. And I think what happened was, you know, I was a straight A student up until grade 11. When grade 12 came along, I freaking tanked. And as we'll see coming up, continuing the montage, I struggled a lot in university as well, to the point where I almost didn't finish university. And I think reasons for that were I burned myself out being a straight A student for 12 consecutive years, and also getting older, you know, and that obsession with pleasing people and pleasing authority fading away a little bit. I started to not care as much. I don't know if it was not care, I just started to not be able to put in the monumental amount of effort that I always did in my studies and stuff, and I started to flounder. But I struggled in other ways too. You know, learning to live on my own, on the whole, you know, I think I came into that pretty well, but I struggled a lot with keeping up housekeeping. There was a lot of struggles with finding a job. I got my first job at 17, but it was only a temporary position for a month. After that, I didn't get my next job until 21, and it was a mix of a lot of things. I didn't learn to drive until I was 22. There were just a lot of things, and it took me until recent years to realize just how much I struggled with growing up in general, despite what most people around me thought of me. It took me a lot of years to realize that I'm probably on the autism spectrum. Not diagnosed, but it's pretty hard to not look at someone like me and not make that assumption, and I think it's a pretty darn good assumption. But obviously I presented neurotypically enough that I never got, and I was never offered things that perhaps would have helped me grow up had interventions taken place earlier. But obviously I made it. I did grow up. It took a long time, and there's stuff that I still have to actively work towards. Everybody grows up, just for some people it takes a very long time, and that was the case for me. But yeah, you know, when I was making that video when I was 19, and it's awful to think about now, but I literally couldn't imagine myself making it through my 20s. Not for any particular reason, I just couldn't imagine myself being a functional adult, to the point where I wondered if fate was going to, if something was going to happen and I was going to die before I was 30, before I had the chance to be a normal functioning adult doing normal mundane adult things. I literally, it was so hard for me to imagine being able to do that, that I thought perhaps fate would not allow it to happen. That's a terrible way to think, but that's how I thought at the time, because that's how hard it was for me to imagine being a grown-up. Now, here I am. I'm turning 30 in 9 or 10 months, which comes with its own very minor struggles, but I'm actually really excited. I'm in a good place in life. I think I'm ending my 20s in a really good spot. As anybody does, I'm always working on myself. That's all you can do, right? So, but I'm really excited to be entering my 30s and beyond now, because now I can imagine, you know, I can imagine what my life may be like going forward and as I get older. It says I'm a YouTube partner now. Holy crap, I don't know when this happened, but this is certainly a bit of very surprising news. Thank you for supporting me for 5 years. Yeah, I'm not doing that great so far this semester. I'm struggling in my two most important courses, my electrical and computer engineering courses. I'm not doing that great. I'm doing the best I can. I'm kind of getting tired of it, but I'm pushing on and trying my best, and that's about it. This is a Sony Digital 8 camcorder, and this was given to me by none other than YouTube user V Westlife. He didn't send me just this camcorder. he sent me both of them. I've already thanked him 100 times for it, but that's just how thankful I am. I really appreciate it. He gave me a great deal on all this stuff, and it's allowed me to not have to go without a camcorder after all, so that is totally awesome. The Association of University of New Brunswick Teachers has officially said we are on strike. Despite significant concessions on our part, the employer was not interested in a deal. They even backtracked. Holy crap, well, it looks like I'm going home tomorrow. Sweet. This is an Advance model LQ106FTP. This is the only ballast of this type I've ever seen, a magnetic rapid start ballast for 4, 6, or 8 watt lamps. I've never seen another ballast of this type. It's kind of weird thinking that you're 20 years old, you know, for the past 7 years I've been 13, 14, something teen, and now I'm just 20. And it makes me feel old. We are going to demonstrate this thing with all of my analog cell phones. For the first time in years and years and years, this phone is receiving an analog cellular signal. And there we go. It is ringing.
The things you're about to see could potentially result in injury or death.
Please do not try this at home.
Oh!
There we go.
You hit it!
I'm really tired today.
Yeah, same. Is it even firing?
I don't know. Let me shoot the ground. I'll shoot the dandelion. Yep.
Whoa, you got a hit!
Yes! This past Saturday, post-tropical storm Arthur came barreling through the region, and what it left behind for us to deal with was rather severe. Mum and I, as well as a great majority of the provinces of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, had been without power for a week. This is what it's come to. It's been 2.5 days since we lost power, and there's no quick end in sight. Time to start school again, and I have moved into my new apartment this year. Pink bathtub. How retro is that? Get a load of that. A refrigerator built in to the stove and the sink. Last year, in the first semester, I failed not 1, but 2 courses. And I've studied those over the summer, and I'm going to be taking them again this coming semester. Not something I look forward to doing, but what I do look forward to doing is kicking their butt and doing good in them. This is a mint-in-the-box wake and warn smoke alarm. As a kid, I actually had an interest in smoke alarms, particularly vintage ones. I had 2 of these as a kid. I was a weird kid. Yes, I have tried the Windows 10 technical preview, and holy crap, I friggin' love it. I honestly truly think that Windows 10 will be the new Windows 7 when it's finished. I think Windows 10 will be the operating system that enterprises and schools use for years and years to come. This is a Connect brand LED watch. I got it for Christmas in 2010. I'll show the time here. And there it is. And it's a really nice display, and you can see that indeed, despite being a modern manufactured display, it looks just like the 1970s. It is indeed a wire bond display. Get a load of this. This is a Sony Handycam model CCD TRV66 High 8 XR camcorder from 1999. What I have here is one of the earliest portable fluorescent light fixtures ever made. This thing uses what is generally known as a vibrator power supply, this whole setup. I just came back from school. I decided, you know, just for the heck of it, pay another visit to the recycle box. Oh my god, I came out with this Power Macintosh 7300. Holy crap. This is literally the stuff of my dreams. I have discovered the actual purpose of the e-waste boxes that I have found in a building at school, and subsequently gotten a lot of really awesome stuff from, including the PowerMax 7300. When I went there on Monday, the boxes were empty, and then there's a room, a door beside the boxes, which for the first time that I had seen was open. I looked in this room. Holy crap! In the middle of this room, which is about the size of a small gymnasium, every electronic thing, everything that had ever landed in those boxes was there in a huge pile in the middle of this room. It was the size of a pickup truck. Holy crap! I couldn't believe it. This is a Nokia Lumia 635 Windows phone. This is only my second cell phone ever, and it's actually my first smartphone. Here's the glance screen when you come out of standby. We swipe up. And here's the start screen. Just a few days ago, I got a call for a job interview. And I did the job interview, and I thought it went great. 2 hours later, they called me, they offered me the job. I got the job. I have a full-time job for the whole summer. And that is amazing. You guys have no idea how much this means to me. It's so awesome. I just got home from my run with the purpose of saving things from the e-waste pile. Here's everything I got. Several desktop PCs, and then over there, several laptops. Oh my god, look at what I just scored. It's an HP LaserJet 4M. In my opinion, one of the greatest PC printers, if not the greatest PC printer of all time. These are amazing printers. We made it to 2,000 subscribers, and that's totally awesome. Thank you guys for finding the crap that I upload here worth your time to watch. It really means a lot to me. Oh man, what has the cat dragged in this time? Oscilloscopes! 3 of them! I was passing by the tech shop at school, and they had a whole pallet of old oscilloscopes outside the door. I've recently become pretty interested in getting my amateur radio license. It's something I've actually wanted to do for years and years, ever since I was a kid. There's a lot of cool stuff in here.
That had all this leaded case wire in it. It was absolutely perfect the way they make the wire.
Oh my god. If this is what I think it is, I'm gonna crap my pants. Yeah, that's what I thought. This is the IBM PC Portable. Holy shoot. This is the stuff of legends. I literally never thought I'd ever see one of these in my entire life. Oh, holy shoot. Oh my god. I cannot believe this. This person who lives really near me discovered me on YouTube, and I guess he likes my videos. And he messaged me today and told me he had this thing and he'd give it to me for free if I wanted it. The guy's a real gentleman. His name is Neil, and my god, he's got the hugest collection of vintage electronics I've ever seen. It's like me on crack. Today I paid a visit to Neil. He offered some stuff to me, which I gladly accepted. This is an honest-to-goodness Sony Mavica floppy disk digital camera. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping that tonight will be the night that I make my very first amateur radio contact.
We're going to see. Good evening to Victor Equinite Echo November.
Thank you, Bert, VE1PIN, and good evening to you and everyone else on the net. From VE9EN, the name is Trent in Fredericton, and I'm actually a newly licensed operator. I was licensed just earlier this week, and this is my first contact ever.
Oh, that's why I looked for it before.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's a bunch of cubes that like shoot into it.
Oh, that's right.
I should get a Raspberry Pi and do it through that.
Oh yeah.
We can actually borrow one from the engineering library.
You can do that?
Yep.
Oh. I have a job for this summer. This job is with one of the large Canadian telecommunications companies, and it's office work, kind of a mix of engineering and business work in an office setting. So I'm really excited for it. This here is a Northern Telecom Meridian business phone. The reason I'm talking about a telephone at all is just because I really love the design of these. Ever since I started my new job and I've been up close and personal with Northern Telecom business phones, I've just become so interested in learning how they work and what makes them tick and the kind of things they can do. So as a result of this newfound interest of mine, I've actually been seriously wondering and doing some research regarding if I could potentially, from a cost and from a complication standpoint, purchase my own Northern Telecom Meridian PBX and a couple of phones, you know, just my own little small system to actually learn this stuff hands-on and experiment with it and play with it, and I suppose ultimately interface it with my own home telephone line. I've become really interested in the Sony Mavica digital cameras. I was really interested in getting a hold of one of the higher resolution models. So I got one. And then I got 4 more. Oh my goodness, my fly's down. Don't get any ideas, boys. Can I shoot some test video for YouTube?
Yeah.
My viewers will like this.
I'll expect to see it in the next 8 months or so.
Oh.
It's very slow at putting things up.
Oh, I'll get it up tonight probably. Cause stuff like this that, you know, stuff I don't own, I'm usually really fast getting it up.
Yeah, well that's, what year was that? What year was that? Those made?
1984 is when this came out.
Oh, and it was in the movie, wasn't it? Back to the Future.
Yeah, and this was the first all-in-one camcorder aside from the Beta movie from Sony.
And of course the Beta movie was record only.
My friend Neil Robinson, who you've heard me mention in many of my videos, and whose videos you may have seen before, Neil passed away this week on Tuesday, August 9th, after a short but really bravely fought battle against multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. His death was sudden and unexpected. He was 55 years old. It's been a rough week. It's probably the most traumatic thing I've had to go through since Dad died, and that was 7 years ago. Neil was one of the most kind, genuine, and really fascinating people that I'd ever met. And I don't think I've ever connected with any friend like I did with him. I'm upset. And I'm hurt because I didn't get more time with him. We only met 8 months ago, but every time I visited him, we talked like we'd known each other for years. And I can plainly see now, when I look back on our visits and on our conversations, I know that he loved me and I loved him. I'm glad I got to spend the time I had with him. I'll always cherish that. I never met someone who shared so much of my hobbies and interests. And I'd give up everything I have to get one more chance to visit him so I could tell him how much he meant to me. I can't put this off any longer. I don't want to put this off any longer. This may be hard to hear for some of you, but it still has to be said, and I think in the end, I hope every single one of you can understand that this is very, very real and very important. For the past couple of years, I have had personal struggles surrounding my gender identity. I kept it mostly repressed. Once I realized that was indeed what was going on. And over the past few months, starting in the summertime, I saw this therapist, and basically by the end of the summer, she said that she was comfortable suggesting to me that I look into a gender transition if I feel that it's right for me. And I think that it is right for me, and so this is what I've decided to do, is start a gender transition. I still don't know like what I actually want in the end. I don't think very many people who go through this do, but I know what I'm not, and I know therefore what direction I need to head in, so this is what I'm doing. The day has finally come. I have my HRT prescription right here, my hormones. This is absolutely amazing. I almost thought that this day would never come. Bottoms up. It's been 3 weeks running on estrogen. My acne has cleared up a lot. In fact, my face hasn't been this good since I was 13. I have real breasts now. They are growing a lot. And so that's really exciting. I'm really kind of happy to see that. It's kind of cool to think about now. I'm probably going to have to start thinking about buying my first bra. I have a friend at school, Katie, and I came to her place one afternoon. She did my makeup. She actually made me up using the makeup that she has. I got home and I looked in the mirror and I thought, you know, I kind of like this now. I took about 100 pictures of myself, and I went through these pictures and I actually kind of liked it. I kind of liked how I looked with makeup and straight hair. And I thought I might be biased, but I thought I looked pretty hot. After 2.5 years, I am ditching Windows Phone. I'm jumping ship. As of this morning, Facebook Messenger stopped working for me. All my messages are gone. They're not listed here anymore, and we just get this message that says, "Thank you, as of March 28th, messaging will no longer be supported." I rely on Messenger for professional purposes. I'm going to be purchasing a new phone, and it won't be a Windows phone. I am jumping ship to Android. That's what I've decided to do. Saturday before last marked 4 months on HRT, which is awesome. I achieved a very huge milestone. I went out in public for the first time dressed fully as a woman, not androgynously or anything, just straight up female. And I was so scared. I was scared of, are any strangers gonna come up and talk to me about this or anything, but I left this room and I went out and waited for the bus, and it went just fine, and I'm super happy about that. I'm pretty stoked. I bought this as is, untested. Seller didn't know anything about it. This is a Northern Telecom Northstar PBX model 6x16. I had my laser hair removal consultation today. I learned something a bit disheartening. For the most part, red hair does not react to the laser. Blonde hair doesn't, and red hair doesn't, because they're too light in color to actually absorb the laser energy. unfortunately, the majority of my face is not going to be helped by laser hair removal. I'm really upset with that. Okay, I'm really excited. This is the moment. Oh my gosh. Turn the ringer down here. I can't believe that's working. And each model of phone could be either white or black.
Oh, you can't say the word black, that's racist. Of course I can fucking say the word black, it's black!
There were some limited editions. The Maritime Man is what this video is about. The name The Maritime Man. That's going to change. The first new name that comes to my mind would be The Maritime Girl. That's pretty straightforward. It's just like the old name, except the man becomes girl.
So this is a YouTube user, The Maritime Girl, or formerly was The Maritime Man, until she decided to shove her penis inside of her. No, I'm kidding.
So I've been full-time for a little over 3 weeks now. I'm going to school as a female, wearing my dresses, wearing makeup, everything. I'm doing things in public as a female, and it's all going really well. We hit 4,000 subscribers, which is really, really great. So thank you to all of you who enjoy my videos. I've finally hit the big screen, or in this case, the little screen. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a tiny TV that was a big leap forward in electronic miniaturization. From 1982, this is the Sony Watchman Portable TV, model FD210. I've been after the subject of this video for almost 4 years. It's a very rare piece of vintage video equipment. This is a Casio VF3000 portable TV and VHS VCR combination. This is my first time driving any car by myself. I've had my driver's license for a little over a year, just over a year, but I've always driven with someone else in the car. I've never driven by myself. So this is new. I'm a little bit nervous. I was always simply too scared to get my license. Presumably this car will become mine someday eventually. We made it! Woohoo! I'm so excited and happy that I just accomplished that. First time ever driving by myself. What I have here are 39 3.5-inch floppy disks. Windows 98 came not only on a CD but on a floppy disk release. And I'm going to install it on a physical computer. Here's the computer. And we're going to do it in real time. I'd say go for him when he calls.
I'll be back later.
Oh. Victor Echo 9er uniform, November Bravo.
That's 2 people we missed. We're too slow.
Kilo 4 X-Ray Lima, sweepstakes.
Victor Echo 9er uniform, November Bravo.
CQ contest. This is Kilo 4 X-Ray Lima, sweepstakes.
Victor Echo 9er uniform, November Bravo.
CQ contest. Again, please.
Victor Echo 9er uniform, November Bravo.
Try one more time, please. I'm trying to find the right antenna.
Victor Echo 9er uniform, November Bravo.
Okay, I need the prefix. I got Fox Alpha X-Ray. I need the prefix.
You're talking to us.
We made 0 contacts. Out of 100. People have done 100 so far.
Other people?
Yeah.
500, oh yeah.
No, we have 100 on the list that people before us in here have done.
Sent number is?
101. The next one's 101.
101?
Yeah.
100?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's great. I might push forward the paperwork to do a pin or something.
Yeah.
Like you can get the, I didn't do that first year. I didn't, wow.
We haven't made any yet.
We can't get the 101. We've tried 3 hours.
We made 2, but they've already been made.
In a week's time, approximately, I'm no longer going to be living here. I've been woefully unable to find work, and it's the end of the summer. My lease on this place is up, and I have no money anyway, and I'm going back to move in with Mom. It really sucks, because I've been so lucky I've been almost continuously employed for the past 3 years. I've been living on my own full-time for the past 3 years, and I haven't been able to find anything. I've had 2 interviews in the past 8 months, and one of them wasn't even for an engineering related job. One of them was for a retail store job, because it's gotten to the point now where I'm not even applying for, well, I'm still applying for engineering related jobs obviously, but I'm now applying for jobs, just, normal jobs as well, because I'm trying to find something. I absolutely hate this. Being unemployed sucks. I don't think I've actually definitively mentioned it on a video yet, but I did graduate from school. I now hold a bachelor's degree of science in electrical engineering, and that's absolutely amazing, and I'm friggin' proud of myself. I figured there wouldn't be much trouble at all finding work, but such hasn't been the case. And it really ruins your morale. It really truly sucks. I've been trying to play naive and think that my gender transition has nothing to do with it, but I can't help but wonder if it does have something to do with it now. I just find it so confusing that I had all this great luck finding work for the past 3 years, and now I can't get anything, and it just really sucks, and it makes me feel really horrible, and it makes me wonder if it's something wrong with me being transgender. I don't know. I am really excited to announce that I have finally decided to change my name, and I know what name I'm going to pick. I thought for much of my life that if I ever did have a kid, if I had a daughter, I would want to name her Florence, because Florence is a name that it's a name that I always liked. I always really liked the name Florence. I don't know when I first heard it. I don't think I've ever met anybody personally named Florence. But it's a name that I always really liked. I probably read it in some book that takes place in like the 1800s or something. But I still wasn't sure, because Florence is a really old name. In fact, if you look at a chart of the history of the popularity, Florence peaked in popularity in the 1880s. Something did come along that really helped me out with my decision, and it was when Hurricane Florence formed in the Atlantic. I took it as a sign from above, or whatever you want to call it, that maybe I should adopt the name Florence. So I did. So for the last month or month and a half, I now go by Florence, and since I've been using it, I've come to love it even more than I did previously. I think I've found a me name.
In China, they have these.
Loose number 3 buzzes in.
What are rocks? No. Don't talk again.
Loose number 2 buzzes in.
What are big rocks? Ron. Enough from you.
Shrevek takes loose number 2's life essence.
Buzz! 3 weeks ago, I started a new job at a local insurance company here. I put a deposit down on an apartment a couple of weeks ago, so in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I will be moving into a new apartment. Life has made a major turnaround for me, and I'm super thankful for that. I am standing in the middle of my brand new apartment. I bought a perfect working color laser printer for $5. Holy crap, I am just beside myself. You guys have no idea how friggin' excited I am right now. This is a prosumer grade, or perhaps a low-end professional grade, Super VHS camcorder. This is basically a low-end portable television camera, and I am just so excited. This was a gift from a coworker. This is a mid-2012 MacBook Air, and it works absolutely perfectly. And she just gave this for me, just, you know, as thanks for harvesting the data off it and helping get her new Mac all up and running. This is the first Mac I've ever owned that is supported by Apple while I own it. It isn't already out of date by the time I get it. Canadian Tire is now selling these Noma Heritage series of Christmas lights. They are vintage style Christmas lights modeled after types of Christmas lights that Noma sold in the 40s and 50s. What you're seeing here are real globe-shaped incandescent bulbs. Oh my goodness, these are so friggin' pretty. Oh, they're so pretty. I love it. We have officially entered new territory on this YouTube channel. This is a Honda EM600 portable generator. Gasoline. 80s or 90s vintage. I got this for free. Last ran about 5-6 years ago. This will be my first time working on a small engine, or any engine. Holy crap! Holy crap! This is a very, very special typewriter. Cordless? Solid state? Battery? Charge? It's true! This is a battery-powered electromechanical typewriter. There were only 2 attempts at a battery-powered electromechanical typewriter ever made. I recently learned that we have our own local television station called Charlotte County Television. It's like independently owned and operated. They're not affiliated with CTV or CBC or any of them. It's a completely independently owned, operated. The majority of their shows are produced in-house. They only have 1 or 2 syndicated shows. They have a transmitter, a UHF transmitter in St. Andrews, and it's still analog. This has got to be like one of the last analog television transmitters in Canada, maybe. Oh my god, there's sound! Oh my god! Ah! That's so cool! Oh man, this is so cool! I think that's it right behind me. I think that's the transmitter. There's their call sign, CHCO TV. I am in the CHCO TV television station, Charlotte County Television, here in St. Andrews, New Brunswick. We're a tiny station, not much funding, not nearly as much funding as we should be getting. You've seen our studio cameras here. This one's actually powered on right now. These are Hitachi cameras. They're 15 or 20 years old, still in regular use every day. These are our modern field cameras. We use them in the field, but we also use them here in the studio for high definition, Canon XF305. This is the editing room. We have an iMac and a couple of different PCs. This is the control room. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Look at this cool monitor, huh? It's a Sony Trinitron CVW, or no, CVM something or other, CVM 12 something or 13 something. It's a 12 or 13 inch monitor. This is a Sony model DSR PD150 DV cam camcorder from 2003, and this is mine. This belonged to the television station, and it was retired just a few days ago, and I got to take it home and keep it. I will put my faithful old Digital 8 Handycam down, pick this guy up. Here we go. We are now recording on the Sony model DSR PD150 DV cam camcorder from 2003. I bet this thing makes awesome video quality. I will definitely be using this as a camcorder for at least some of my YouTube videos. This is a Sharp Carousel 2 convection microwave oven, model R-8460, and it was made in 1985. One freaking cool vintage microwave oven. CompuDefrost, one of the most celebrated features of this thing in the manual. So of course, because it was 1985, anything with at least 3 transistors in it was a computer. And the manual in this thing talks. I'm going to show you another thing you can do with this circuit, and that's use a fax machine like this 1992 Panasonic fax machine as a very crude, low-quality computer printer. Somebody cool has sent me something cool. This is actually a package from a viewer and friend of the channel, Evangeline Dominic. She sent me an email saying, "Be careful when you open it." What? Be careful? Why? Is something gonna jump out of here? I don't know. It's been making me nervous. She said, "Be careful when you open it." Oh man, there's a trans flag in here. Oh crap! I just bought one on Amazon. I love that. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find a place to put this. Oh, the keyboard lights up. Oh, that's really cool. Today we're going to take a look at a Western Electric 1A2 key telephone system. This is actually a modern recreation of a 1A2 KSU. Alright. I am so stoked about what's in this box right here. In this box is a Northern Telecom Northstar Compact ICS, which was one of the last and most modern and featured of all the Northstar systems. I am just so happy right now. This is so exciting. Oh man. Of all the Northstar systems that I could ever hope for, you know, to ultimately own, I think the Compact ICS would be the one. Thank you so much to Braden, who sold me this system and all the extras. Can't thank him enough. What a cool dude. This is a light bulb that was used for photography applications way back in the days before xenon flash tubes. Here we go. Woo! That was bright! Oh my god! That startled me! Wow, that was way brighter than I thought it would be. Whoa! 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 Oh god! We're dividing by 0, people! Whoa! There are only vowels remaining. Oh, what's going on? Is that it? Are we done? Wow! The game fucking died right in front of our eyes. Why did it crash? Oh, that sucks. Man. Hold on, just gonna deal with this 40-column ass text. This is a Panasonic Easyphone model KX-T1520 automatic telephone answering system, and it was made in 1980 or 81.
If you would like to leave a message on this 40-year-old answering machine, you may do so after the beep.
Come quick, okay, but we can't wait for that.
Hold on, I want to drink first.
Bosses, we're coming in.
Ah! Oh god!
There he is.
There he is! While pointing in the other direction. There he is, with his back to me. Oh, you hate to see it. Ah, the French champagne, celebrated everywhere for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson. It's fermented in the bottle, and like all fine champagnes, vintage dated. I can't believe I can quote that verbatim. This box weighs 38 pounds, and it's full of computer stuff, hopefully still intact computer stuff, that I purchased from a friend of the channel, 93 Shadow. A Macintosh PowerBook G3, an original clamshell iBook, a titanium PowerBook G4.
This is Judy's Restaurant and Law. The cases are real. The people are real. The Judy is realistic.
A defendant clears his throat. Judy clears her everything.
This might be the day this doesn't happen. Whoa, something's really loud. That was probably the power steering pump. Woo! There's the Celsius. Oh, still does it. A short message about safety and how not to do something stupid like I did tonight. I just got home from a 3.5-hour stay at the hospital, and it was for this. Basically, I lost a fight with a knife because I was using said knife in a really stupid manner. It cut a chunk out of my finger. There's a part of my finger that is not there anymore. Today marks the ability for me to finally close a chapter of my life that's needed to be closed for a very long time. My ex-girlfriend told me to find a place to put all my stuff that had been sitting in her house, or say goodbye to it forever. Today, sitting on the floor in front of me over here, is all the stuff that was in that storage unit. It is home. Worrying about this stuff and wondering if I would ever get it back has emotionally prolonged my breakup with my ex for 2 years, and I am just really glad to have it home now. A month and a half ago, I quit my abusive, dead-end office job to work full-time at a community television station, and it has been the coolest, most rewarding experience that I've ever had. Every day, I get to produce television content for people in my local area about issues that they care about. And on top of that, I get to do a lot of cool stuff too, and make a lot of entertaining content as well. The VCR we're showing today is one that's literally been a bucket list VCR for me for as long as I've ever had an interest in vintage videotape recorders. Look at that. How cool is that? Is that sweet or what? This little 500 square foot apartment has been my home for 3.5 years. And it is time to go. Hello everybody and welcome to my new apartment. So this is where the magic's going to happen. It's going to be an office, it's going to be a workspace, and it's going to be a YouTube studio. And I'm very excited. There is so much more to do here. But I'm really excited with what I have planned. This is something I saved from the side of the road. Now here's the thing. I didn't just get this TV off the side of the road. I got two. It must be a 2-wire speed control like the old fan. The third wire just must be for RPM or something. Although so far... Ouch! Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Boy, I gotta wash my hands. That's a lot of damage! Ooh, that's dim. That's very dim. What's our current? Wait. I'm sorry, what? No. That makes no sense. This is a high power factor ballast. What? That makes no sense. The non-existent prize for the first comment tonight goes to an actual chicken. So a good bagok to you, sir or ma'am. Aha! How do you do, fellow gays? You sneak a taste? What? How'd you taste it? Nope, it's definitely not made of delicious dessert product. What'd I tell you? It's silly putty. Gosh. Because of how small Minmus is, I think Kerbals jetpack has enough RCS to put it into orbit around Minmus. Oh, come on. Oh, sticky keys! Go away. When I turned the computer on, the hard drive would spin up, it wouldn't reach full speed, and then it would spin back down and that would be it. And I spent the next decade scratching my head wondering what was wrong with this hard drive. I decided to do one last thing, and using my bare hands, I picked up the platters with my fingers and I set them on the tissues that I had laid out, and I put it all back together. I just put the drive all back together, and when I got it all back together, I looked over and I saw 3 screws sitting on the desk. Oops, I forgot to put the spindle motor retaining screws back in. I plugged the hard drive into a power supply and powered it on. And it spun up, and it finished spinning up, and it did a seek test. It was working fine, and I was just blown away. Gotta sweep, sweep, sweep. Looks like it's sweeping time.